So this is the linest long of traffic I've ever seen at this stop sign.
What's the historical band, Branson?
I wonder if it's a record. Maybe we should call Guinness. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the Real Estate Geeks. Brought to you by the Real Pro team, and we started a new production company, Ken.
We have.
We have. It's called Face for Radio Productions.
I'm with that.
Yeah, I thought that would be a good name for our production company for our videos. So, brought to you by Face for Radio Productions and the Real Pro team. I'm managing partner Brad Gore.
And I am managing partner Ken Bowman. We are live in the Rolling Studio.
You almost forgot about yourself there, didn't you?
Well, you know, there's a lot of news going on.
It's big news. Big news. So what we're going to talk about this week is we're going to talk about inventory. And right now in our area, and this is really nationwide, we're hearing a lot of things about the coasts are kind of slowing down. But we're really hearing, what you can kind of read between the lines, is that really high-end, these multi-million dollar, $5, $6, $7 million properties, all the way up to these big $40, $50 million properties that got to be really popular after the recession, are starting to slow down. And really, I don't think slowed down is the right word for it, Ken. I really think they were overpriced anyway, and what you're seeing is these prices are starting to come down to what they really should have been. Now here locally, what does that mean for us? So here locally, our inventory is low. I mean, really low.
It is low.
So our median here sits somewhere between, say, 170 and 180,000. Okay, that's our median home price. So if you look in about the 135 to about the 180, 85 price range, probably more than half of the homes we sell fall in that price range. Now, I would include condos in that, but most of our condos here fall in, somewhere around the 100 to 150 range, the vast majority. So we're going to take condos out, and we're going to take anything that requires flood insurance out. Flood insurance tends to kind of pigeonhole a property into somebody who can afford the cost, and that's not your typical buyer, because flood insurance is very expensive.
Yes, it is. And
we're going to take out attached homes too, like row homes, which you don't have very many of anyway. We have some duplexes, but most of them fall on planned unit developments, like these golf courses, and so we're going to take those out. We're talking about your typical buyer coming in and wanting to buy a 3-bed, 2-bath, single-family home. So what kind of inventory do we have in those homes right now? What's your research showing, Ken?
Well, right now we've got 20 active properties, which is not a lot.
That's very little. I think we have 4 or 5 clients right now just looking in that price range.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Okay.
And interestingly enough, of those 20, 6 of those properties were listed within the last 60 days.
Okay, so in the last 60 days, we've only seen 6 new homes come on the market in that price range. And so 14 of those 20 have been on the market longer than 60 days.
They've been on the market longer than 60 days, yes.
Okay, well, so that tells you something about the inventory. I mean, if you've been looking for a house for a while, you've probably already seen the other 14.
Yes.
So you got 6 new ones in the last 60 days to look at. That's it. Okay, so what does that do to how fast homes are selling? I mean, that's got to mean that homes are turning over really quickly.
Definitely. Going back in the last 12 months, 86 homes in that category have sold. You're looking at about 7 per month.
Wow. Okay, so 7 per month, and we've had 6 in the last 60 days come on the market.
Yes.
So you could say there's 3 months of inventory, and I'm just dividing that 7 to that 20. So, that's how we come up with kind of what our sell-through rate is. But if there's only been 6 new ones coming on the market, now you're even lower. You could say there's really only 30 days of new inventory.
Definitely.
Right, because all of those should sell if they're priced right and someone's interested in them. So that's a really low inventory. Kind of the reason we want to talk about inventory and how fast that inventory is selling is because, for a buyer, if you're on the buyer side of the transaction, you got to be flexible. If there's a house available, you got to be able to go look at it right now. And you got to look to your real estate agent for some advice on that. And if your real estate agent is saying, hey, if you're interested in this, you need to make an offer right now. And if they're saying that, it's because they know how low the inventory is. Now, if you're a seller, what does that mean for you? That means get your house on the market, right?
Now is the time to list your home. Inventory is low. There are buyers looking. Now is the time to get on the market and see what can happen for you.
So in that particular kind of area of the market, it's still very much a seller's market. But I would say there is some balance there. There's still buyers looking, but it sounds like they're looking for a specific type of property, or they probably would have bought something that's already out there. So I think it's really good for both sides of the sale. You know, if you're a buyer, get out there and find what you want and get it bought. But if you're a seller, get your house out there, because there may be somebody waiting in the wings that's seen what's available.
Seen the right one.
And they just haven't seen, and your house might be the right one, and they might jump on it. You might have a quick sale, you know, be able to get it sold, get a good price, get that buyer into a house that they want, that they like. That's a good situation. And that for real estate agents, for us, that's awesome. I mean, we want to see both sides of the transaction happy at the end of the day.
Yes, this is where you can make some good matches. And timing really is of the essence right now with our market, what's available. And there are folks looking. So definitely, if you have a property that you're thinking about selling, now could be a very beneficial time for you to get in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
And get things done.
And really, that's in any price range. I mean, we picked a common price range, but even if you look at, you know, say the 200 to 300 price range, say you look at lake homes in the 300 to 500 price range, yeah, it's different. Sometimes there's more on the market, but there's more of them selling. And seasonally, that's going to change too. We've been showing a lot of property even in areas north of us and areas to the west of us. And we're seeing, we just had some clients down last weekend that looked at 4 or 5 houses before the weekend was over. 2 of them were gone. And they're looking in that, you know, 200, 250 range.
Yes.
So you've got to be really mindful and look to your real estate agent for that good advice on what the market is doing, you know, what you should offer, what your expectations should be. And then follow that advice. That's the best advice we can give you. Okay, so there's another topic I want to bring up that kind of follows the inventory. And we have seen recently, as you know, I'm a huge Wall Street Journal fan, read it every day, and I like to look at the Wall Street Journal's mansion section, which is pretty cool. But I've seen this on other news outlets. I've seen it talked about in some publications from the National Association of Realtors about really, really specific types of real estate. And I saw this story. You can probably still find it on the Wall Street Journal's website. It's about luxury car condos. I mean, that's what they are. They're car condos.
You have my attention. Car condos sounds
right?
good to me.
So it's so specific. You know, there really are very few buyers. What amazed me is how fast they're selling and how much they're selling for. So, Ken, you kind of perused through that article, I'm sure.
Yes.
Couple of interesting things I found in it. I just kind of want to get your opinion on it. So basically, there is a development. I think the one that I was looking at is in Arizona. There's another one that is in Tennessee. And these developers have gone in and put in a track. And the track is private. And around the track, they are building these metal buildings, big, huge garages. You know, 20, 30 bays a piece. And you buy an empty bay that sits basically track front. Like you can open the garage door and drive out on the track in your race car, you know, your Ferrari, your Corvette, whatever it is you like. And they're $250,000 for a 1,500 square foot shell. And then you have to pay whatever it's going to cost to put the interior in. And they're selling out. They're sold out. I mean, even if you wanted to buy one right now, you can barely get one. You have to pre-buy them to be finished in the next couple of years. That's so specific a buyer.
Very specific.
You know, and I think these are people that, you know, they're tired of buying a condo on the ocean or a house on the ocean or a ski chalet. You know, they're wanting something different. And we've seen it in lots of other categories too. We were reading an article not too long ago about there's a zoo. Now this is in the United States, this is in Europe, but they build condos basically on the zoo. And you could buy a condo where you can look out and you can see all the animals out in the zoo from your condo. And that was a vacation home for people. You know, I just think it's amazing that the market is becoming so specific that there's enough purchasing going on in those categories to support the development?
Well, it shows that the market's always changing and evolving, and we see new trends come in. In our area, we have a couple of homes that are built inside caves.
We do. We've got the cave homes around here. We've seen a couple of those. We've seen we have geodesic homes. I've seen round homes. I just showed a house over in Branson West the other day. The house was a perfect circle. Lots of specific. We can remember a house. Now we won't get into specifics, but it was called the Monkey House for a reason.
Yes.
Right?
Very true.
There's a little bit of a story behind that involving I don't remember, it was a primate from a Clint Eastwood movie.
Mm-hmm.
That some of you might remember. And that was the gentleman that trained that particular primate. That's where he lived. It was passed on to another owner. That owner sold it, and it's forever known as the Monkey House. Very, very specific. And homes like that are selling. I think that's amazing. But I think it shows that the market is healthy, too.
Very much so.
Yeah, I mean, if people are willing to go out and spend money on something so specific, knowing, resale value on that could be limited. And that's something you really have to think about. I think a lot of these folks that are buying those homes, that's not what they care about. What they want something special and something specific.
They want the uniqueness of it.
Yeah, and they're willing to pay what it costs to get that, regardless what the future value might or might not be. I think that shows we have a healthy real estate market.
Very true.
Yeah. All right. If you have any questions about inventory or some interesting comments about really specific inventory, feel free to drop in the comments. We'll try to answer some of those questions in our next episode. See you later.
Bye.